All right, in this lesson, you're going to learn how to find the slope and the y-intercept of a line where its equation is given in this form. So you'll see ax plus by equals c. So the variables will be on one side and the constant will be on the other side. And so the directions will probably say something like this. Find the slope and y-intercept of each line. And so let's look at that first equation. So the first equation, we have 3x minus 4y equal a negative 12. And so notice that this linear equation is written in that form. So you have ax plus by equal a constant. And sometimes we'll call this form the general form or the standard form of the equation of a line. And so that's where you have all the variables on one side, constants on the other. And you also notice that all of the coefficients are integers and the constants integer as well. But what you want to do is if you want to find the slope and the y-intercept, you all know about the slope-intercept form. So what you want to do is transform this into slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form. And so remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So if you can get this equation to get y by itself, then you can easily determine the slope and the y-intercept. So the slope, once you get y by itself, the slope is the coefficient of x. So there's the slope right here, whatever you're multiplying the variable x by. Now remember, you have to get y by itself first. And then this constant right here, this constant is your y-intercept. Okay, so that's where the graph will cross the y-axis. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this example. And so first thing you want to do if you're going to get y by itself, let's go ahead, and there are multiple ways of doing this, but in this situation, let's go ahead and get the negative 4y by itself. And so I need to get this 3x to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides, just like this. And then we're going to combine like terms on the left. And notice that these terms are like terms because they both have the same variable raised to the same power. So 3x minus 3x, that is 0 when I combine them. And I'm left with 0 minus 4y, which is a negative 4y. Equal, now these are not like terms, but I'm going to go ahead and put this in descending order. So I'm going to put the x first. So I get negative 3x minus 12. All right, and then we're almost done with getting y by itself. So remember, I want to get this by itself. Right now, I'm multiplying by negative 4. So the coefficient of y is negative 4. So let me go ahead and rewrite this over. And so now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Now let's go ahead and simplify the left-hand side. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1. 1 times y is y equal. All right, now on this side, what you need to do to make it look like this, mx plus b, is rewrite each term that's in the numerator and divide it by what you see in the denominator. So this becomes negative 3x divided by negative 4 minus 12 divided by negative 4. All right, so you need to do that. And so we also know that, and then we can simplify this, a negative divided by negative is a positive. And we also know that negative 12 divided by negative 4 is a positive 3. So now we're going to rewrite this as y equals a positive 3/4 x plus 3. All right, and so this is, right here, this is slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. So once you get into slope-intercept form, then you know the slope and the y-intercept. So the slope is a coefficient of x. So make sure you only write the coefficient of x. So you need to say slope is 3/4. Don't say, so I'm going to write it on here because some students do that. They'll say the slope is 3/4 x. That's not true. Okay, so don't put that x there. The slope is a coefficient of x. So the slope is 3/4. The slope is the coefficient of x when you get y by itself, when you have it in slope-intercept form. So the slope is 3/4, and the y-intercept is 3. All right, so that's where the graph's going to cross the y-axis at 3. All right, so that was number 1. All right. Not that difficult. You just got to get y by itself. So there's a little bit of algebraic manipulation that you have to do. All right, so let's look at number 2. So number 2, let's suppose we had this. So we have this equation, number 2. We have negative 4x plus 5y equal 15. All right, so we want to find the slope and the y-intercept of this linear equation. Remember, this is a linear equation. All right, so if you were to graph it, it would be a line. And if I'm going to find the slope and the y-intercept, I want to transform into slope-intercept form, right? Slope-intercept form. Well, remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So once you get this in slope-intercept form, the coefficient of x is your slope, and that constant is your y-intercept. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and rewrite this over so I can write on it probably. And so I want to get this term by itself, right? So now I'm going to add 4x to both sides because this is negative 4x. So I'm going to add 4x to both sides. So what you do to one side, you do to the other. And then we're going to combine like terms that's on the left because negative 4x and a positive 4x is 0. And so I get 0 plus 5y is 5y equal. And now these are not like terms because this has the term of the variable x. This is not. This is a constant. But I'm going to rewrite this in descending order. So I get 4x plus 15. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to get y by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this over. And so now I'm going to divide both sides by 5, right? Because right now you're multiplying by 5. The opposite is to divide by 5. And notice what you do to one side, you do to the other. And then let's go ahead and simplify the left-hand side. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times y is y equal. And just like the previous problem, we're going to take each term that's in the numerator and divide it by 5. You want to write it in slope-intercept form. So you're going to say 4/5 x plus 15 divided by 5, right? And so we get y equal 4/5 x plus, and then simplify 5 divided by 5, 15 divided by 5, which is 3. So remember that slope-intercept form, and once you get into slope-intercept form, you now know the slope. The slope is the coefficient of x. So whatever you multiply an x by, once you get y by itself. So the coefficient of x is 4/5, so that's a slope. And the y-intercept is your constant, which is a positive 3. And that's where the graph's going to cross the y-axis. All right, so that's number 2. All right, let's look at number 3. All right, number 3, we have this problem. All right, we have negative 6x plus 5y equal negative 7. All right, just like the previous problem, we want to write this in slope-intercept form to find the slope and the y-intercept. And so I'm going to isolate this term, which means I want to add 6x to both sides because it's a negative 6x. So adding 6x to both sides, just like this. Say add 6x, add 6x. And now let's combine like terms. These terms add up to be 0. They're opposites. A negative 6x and a positive 6x is 0. 0 plus 5y is 5y equal, putting this in descending order, I get 6x minus 7. All right, now we're going to divide both sides by 5, right, to get y by itself. So divide by 5, and then simplify. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times y is y equal. And then let's go ahead and rewrite this as two fractions, two terms. So 6/5 x minus 7/5. All right, so that's slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. And once it's in slope-intercept form, you now know the slope. So the slope is the coefficient of x, which is 6/5, and the y-intercept is your constant. So the y-intercept is a negative, make sure you write it correctly, it's a negative 7/5, right? So negative 7/5. All right, so remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So your y-intercept is at b. So you'll notice that it's right here, you're subtracting, right? But remember, you can always change subtraction to addition. So note, y equals 6/5 x minus 7/5. means the same thing, is equivalent to y equals 6/5 x plus the opposite of 7/5, which is a negative 7/5. So notice this is your slope right here, and now this is your y-intercept. Okay. All right. So be careful with when you're when it turns out to be a subtraction here, because you all know you can change subtraction to addition, and so this actually right here is going to be your y-intercept. So it's going to be a negative 7/5. All right, now it's number 3. Let's look at number 4. All right, number 4, we have negative 5x plus y equal 2. So negative 5x plus y equal 2. And that one's not that bad because notice the coefficient of y is already a 1, so that should be an easy one. This is a negative 5x. I'm going to add 5x to both sides to change that to slope-intercept form. Combining like terms. These are opposites. A negative 5x and a positive 5x is 0. And so I get 0 plus y is y equal, and then putting this in descending order, I get 5x plus 2. And there's your slope-intercept form. And then once it's in slope-intercept form, you can easily find the slope and the y-intercept. So the slope is the coefficient of x, which is 5, and the y-intercept is this constant, which is a positive 2. All right, so that's number 4. All right, number 5, we have 3x minus 7y equal a negative 21. All right, so 3x minus 7y equal a negative 21. All right, so again, I want to change this to slope-intercept form, so I want to get this term by itself. So I need to get rid of this 3x. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 3x from both sides, just like this. And then let's go ahead and combine like terms. These are opposites, so when I combine them, when I add them up, 3x and a negative 3x, that's 0. 0 minus 7y is a negative 7y, so make sure you write this correctly. That's negative 7y equal, and let's go ahead and put this in descending order. Those are not like terms. Negative 3x minus 21. All right, so let me go ahead and rewrite this over. And then we're going to divide both sides by negative 7, right? Just like that. And then let's go ahead and simplify this part. Negative 7 divided by negative 7 is 1. 1 times y is y. And I get y equal. Now we're going to take each of those terms that's in the numerator divided by the denominator. So here's what I have. I have negative 3x divided by negative 7. And then minus 21 divided by negative 7, right? All right, now let's go ahead and simplify this. So y equal, first of all, notice that a negative divided by negative is a positive. So a negative 3 divided by negative 7 is a positive 3/7, and then times x. So this is equivalent to this. And then a negative divided by negative is a positive, but we also know that 21 divided by 7 is 3. And so now this is in slope-intercept form. All right, slope-intercept form. So remember, you do have to go further. Do not leave it like this, because we expect you to know that a negative 3 divided by negative 7 is a positive 3/7. And we expect you to know that a negative 21 divided by negative 7 is a positive 3. All right, so that's slope-intercept form. So the slope is the coefficient of x, which is 3/7, and the y-intercept is positive 3. Okay? All right, let's look at another one. So let's do number 6. All right, so here's number 6. All right, in number 6, we have negative 7x minus y equal a negative 4. So negative 7x minus y equals a negative 4. All right, so again, I want to get y by itself. Now be careful, because you're subtracting y here, right? So be careful. So first thing we're going to do, since that's a negative 7x, we're going to go ahead and add 7x to both sides. And so when I do that, when I combine like terms, a negative 7x plus 7x is 0. 0 minus y is a negative y equal, and then this becomes 7x minus 4. All right, now what some students may want to do is remember that negative y also means the opposite of y, which you can also write as negative 1 times y, right? Because the coefficient of y here, this number right here, is understood to be 1. So it may help if you rewrite this like this. So this right here, negative y, opposite of y, is equivalent to negative 1 times y, equal 7x minus 4. All right, and now let's get y by itself. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 1, just like that. And negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1. 1 times y is y, equal. All right, now let's go ahead and retake each of those terms that's in the numerator divided by negative 1. So 7x divided by negative 1 minus 4 divided by negative 1. All right, now you got to simplify this further. So we expect you to know that 7 divided by negative 1 is a negative 7. So that becomes negative 7x. We also expect you to know that a negative 4 divided by negative 1 is a positive 4. So now you have slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. And so now we can determine the slope is the coefficient of x, which is a negative 7, and the y-intercept, the point of the graph where the line is going to cross the y-axis, is positive 4. Right? And so that should give you enough to be able to understand this topic where you're finding the slope and the y-intercept of a line given its equation that's in the form ax plus by equal c.